Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. George Pickens denies having meeting with Mike Tomlin that Tomlin said they had. Asked about the meeting, Pickens denied it took place. A public relations representative later clarified that Pickens was confused about the time element of the meeting. To hear Mike Tomlin tell it, he and George Pickens had a great meeting sometime following the New England Patriots game. Going over how defenses take away an opposing offense's top targets and how to handle frustration so it doesn't consume you and knock you off your game. All encouraging things between a veteran head coach and young player. To hear George Pickens tell it, that meeting didn't happen. At least not anytime recently. Speaking to reporters Tuesday, Pickens was asked about the meeting Tomlin claimed they had. No. Last week, we played the Colts, Pickens said via video from the PPG when asked if a meeting took place. I didn't have any conversation with Coach T. Just working, just keep getting better. So what's going on here? It's hard to say, but here's what we know. On the morning of every game day, Steelers.com posts the transcript of a conversation between Tomlin and writer/editor Bob Labriola. Here's the full question and the main part of Tomlin's response as it pertains to Pickens. Hugh, when you were asked whether it was a problem that George Pickens has openly voiced his frustration on the sideline during games, you said, "It's a problem because it's not solution-oriented." How can you get him to a place where those things are more solution-oriented? Education. He and I had a great meeting this week. We were just talking about the New England agenda. I'm familiar with the agenda because I've just been a component of it in the past. When you have a dynamic player, oftentimes from a game-playing perspective, you'll pick a block of time or block of plays where you're just going to deny that guy the ball and make others beat you. And the agenda is to keep the ball out of the hands of a significant player, but also if it's a significant player, it's to create angst within him and within that unit. The quarterback feels pressure to get him the ball and have him included. The player feels pressure because he wants his talents to be a part of moving the football. Labriola's question comes from Tomlin's comments on Monday, December 11th during Tomlin's weekly press conference, held on Monday due to the Steelers playing on Saturday, bumping everything up one day, expressing some level of concern with Pickens' continued and obvious frustration. So we know the interview with Labriola happened sometime after that point. Throughout the conversation, Labriola refers to the Colts game as being played today. At first glance, it suggests the interview took place on Saturday. But these interviews are also aired on the radio, the audio of their conversation, on game day, so knowing that and how early these articles are posted, this one running at 6:30 a.m., it's highly doubtful they're being conducted on game day. We know Tomlin's weekly show, The Mike Tomlin Show with host Bob Pompiani, is normally held on Tuesdays right before his noon press conference. It's most likely Tomlin holds these interviews with Labriola on the player's day off. This past week, that would have come later on Monday. All of that is to say, it's hard to know what Pickens is referring to. It's clear that Tomlin's conversation with Labriola happened after the Patriots game, not before it, which puts it in the timeline of happening sometime over the last week. Mason Rudolph aims to be smart with the football, won't be hucking it deep on the first play. The last time Mason Rudolph started a game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he found out the morning of the 2021 matchup against the Detroit Lions. That day, Rudolph played decent football, throwing for 242 yards and a touchdown in a 16-16 tie against the Lions in poor conditions. Even though it might be his last chance at starting for the only franchise he's ever known, Rudolph isn't going to throw caution to the wind, chuck it deep every chance he gets, and play outside of his realm. The decision to switch from backup Mitch Trubisky to Rudolph for Week 16 against the Bengals was made by head coach Mike Tomlin, who was really frustrated with not only the offense's inability to score points, but also struggling with turnovers. Trubisky threw 3 interceptions in his 2 starts this season and has 5 interceptions on the year after seeing playing time behind starter Kenny Pickett throughout the season. Though Rudolph hasn't seen real game action in the regular season since the 2021 season, don't expect him to be overly aggressive and try to prove a point. He's going to stay within himself and stick to the game plan, which is a big reason why Tomlin has so much confidence turning to him with the season on the line. He's aiming to be the Steelers' version of a successful backup quarterback like others around the league have been, including his potential counterpart in Saturday's matchup in Cincinnati's Jake Browning. That starts with taking care of the football for Rudolph. I think, yeah, it's very important. I think you want to obviously move the chains and score points, but let's not be foolish with the football, and let's find the open guy, take what the defense gives you, check the ball down when you need to, and don't try to be the hero, Rudolph added. And I think when you think like that, I think you don't put too much pressure on yourself, and you end up playing smooth and getting into a rhythm. It's rather fitting that Rudolph is going to get a shot to guide the Steelers just 2 days before Christmas, too, with the season on the line. Hopefully, he can help save Christmas in the Steel City. Free agent D. Carlos Dunlap waiting out market, ready to help contender in 2023. As the NFL calendar enters its sleepy summertime period ahead of the start of training camp, Dunlap remains without a team. Much like he did at this time a year ago before signing with the Chiefs, and after recently receiving his Super Bowl 57 ring alongside his former Kansas City teammates, he's waiting to see whether a return tour is in his future. I can help another team get one of their own or help the Chiefs again, Dunlap told Forbes. The Chiefs haven't ruled that out, but currently it's a waiting game. Up until 2022, the story of Dunlap's career largely centered on frustration. He knew he'd performed well enough to be part of a championship-winning defense, but also encountered the many disappointments shared by the 2010s Bengals teams that frequently faltered in the initial round of the postseason. Dunlap's exasperation contributed to Cincinnati's decision to trade him to Seattle in 2020, but he joined that franchise too late to experience the ride Seahawks fans enjoyed in the same decade. Kansas City provided Dunlap with a different opportunity. He wouldn't have to hope the team would live up to its potential, nor would he be a veteran added out of a desperate attempt to remain competitive. He could find his fit with the Chiefs and produce. Dunlap's role evolved throughout the 2022 season as the Chiefs turned toward a situational rotation, capitalizing on the presence of the veteran Dunlap and rookie George Karlaftis. Dunlap only started in 2 games, the same total of starts posted in 2021 in Seattle, but still played 537 snaps, recording 39 tackles, 4 sacks, 8 passes defensed and 1 forced fumble. He also helped the Chiefs take down his old team, the Bengals, in the AFC Championship game. The Chiefs obviously have a special spot for me because they were the first team to help me win a playoff game and to win a Super Bowl, Dunlap said. So that would be a great opportunity. There are 2 sides to the Dunlap coin at this stage of his career. He's willing to take a lesser role in exchange for a place on a team with serious hopes of winning. He's also coming off a season in which he posted a career-low total in sacks and averaged his lowest QB pressure rate in the last 7 seasons, per Next Gen Stats. The end of the road may arrive soon. I'm a free agent, and I feel great, and I still love the game, he said. I'm a realist. Still, Dunlap doesn't necessarily sound as if he's ready to walk away. That could change if he remains unemployed through the 2023 season. But if 2022 was any indication, there's still a chance he signs somewhere, and when the time comes, he'll plan on returning to Cincinnati for his official retirement. The Steelers are interested in hiring Carlos Dunlap. And you fan, what do you think of the Carlos Dunlap situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.